Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, your number one stop for all things in the world of golf. Watch and subscribe anywhere you get your favorite shows on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and more. Just search Get in the Hole. Get in the Hole is the official golf pod of the Underground Sports Philadelphia family of podcasts. Now let's get right into the action. Here's your hosts, Steve McAvoy and Ben Pirro.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
So, I'm waiting on that moment in life where I can go and, I think it was, God, what was it? Probably it was Dustin Johnson because he's a fucking cokehead. It was he won an event in 2018, right? And he had this after party that his then, I guess the girlfriend or fiance, Miss Gretzky, was putting on, or initially it was like a charity event. It was going to be donors are going to come. It's going to be a nice event. And then he wins the tournament, and they're like, we're just going to turn this thing on its head. We're just going to throw a banger. So they're throwing this party, and who was it? It was someone from ESPN was chronicalizing the whole story, and I'm just waiting for that moment when I can do what you got to do this past weekend and just hang out with a bunch of goony lacrosse players ripping cigs.
It was unbelievable shit. Last year we got invited to, and it was one of those things where it was like, we belong here, ? This year was like, wow, they want us here.
Which is
and
sick.
It was so sick. And we had world champion, Team USA, gold medalist, MLL champion, now PLL champion, college superstar, player come up to us at the after party at McGillen's. Shout out McGillen's. And was introducing himself to us. We knew who he was. And that was the first time we had ever really interacted outside of a press conference. And he goes, oh, me and Michael Sowers listen to your shit all the time when we're watching film and game planning. We were like, holy shit. He was like,
I love it.
He was like, no offense to some of these other outlets, but they're absolute shit. He was like, they don't know what the fuck. It's a dying breed. And what you guys do and what you're bringing to the game is what makes it feel like that professional type of atmosphere. So don't fucking stop what you're doing because we all fuck with you guys.
That's hilarious.
It was
amazing.
Unreal. And then we had the boy Chase Frazier, who's been on the show before. He goes you guys have the best fucking podcast out there. Best podcast. Whenever I get on the plane, I'm downloading your podcast first. And then he busted my balls because I was rattling off people who have been on the show. And I forgot to mention him. And as soon as I cut everything off in my brain, I was like, fuck, I forgot about Chase. And he was like, yeah, I thought we were boys. What the fuck?
That's fucking tough, dude. Can't be doing that, bro.
He's the
Not
best.
The homie. Bro, I keep saying bro, but I'm a fucking lacrosse player. No, I feel like golf is so weird though because to me it's there are so many golfers who I feel are so in their own heads that they wouldn't even they'll acknowledge the big guys, but it's too much of a the idea of a gentleman's game for people to be like, yo, bro, what's up? I feel I don't know, to give somebody Ricky Fowler would be a boy,
totally.
But Bryson, despite him now being able to live, I'm not sure if you saw the video, but there's a video of him. He was going under the rope, and I guess someone dropped it before he got under, and it hit him in the face, but. He got on one knee and in the most puss way was like, bro, I can't see out of my eye, bro. What the fuck? Shit! Give me the towel. All right, relax.
What a hardo.
He's the kind of guy who if he came on this podcast and then I saw him on the course would not acknowledge me,
100%.
At all. Which is why I now
Harry Higgs would be a bro.
Dude, Harry Higgs barely doesn't want to wear a shirt on the golf course.
He's total bro.
Yeah, and yet he's playing with Grayson Murray.
Unreal. That's our podcast rivalry right there. Oh God. White whale versus sworn enemy.
I would want to have him on the show just for the just for the conversation that would ensue, like to have Grayson Murray on and
Just to have him like
else.
blow up in our faces.
Yeah, no, basically.
Be
But
electric.
also I didn't even realize, like going back to this whole lacrosse combo, um, the amount of guys who I actually like do know who are on these rosters is like kind of like crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of boys
Well,
from the island.
like just thinking about like guys who I not like played against because my story on playing lacrosse is like it's hilarious. But also
Same, I
embarrassing.
didn't.
Uh, but like looking at some of these rosters, like Tim Muller, I
Yeah,
know,
Tim's great.
I know Tim.
He's a
I
weapon.
know Justin Gutterding was a year
Gutty's
before
great.
me.
Gutty's the boy.
He was a year or two before me in high school. Mike Chanachuk from Poquat.
Channy's friend of the program.
Like a lot of the guys are a little older, but
Will Manny and Tom Schreiber went to your school, I think.
yes, they did.
Both
Shauna,
homies.
Shauna boys, yeah. No, like I know a lot of these guys. I didn't realize that they were all on the championship teams. That's crazy. Also, didn't realize that Chris Hogan was still playing lacrosse.
He is like on the like restricted list.
Yeah.
So the Whip Snakes have his rights through next season if he decides to come back, because he left because the what team signed him? The Panthers maybe signed him last year, or some team signed him last year, and he
Something
went
like
and
that.
played football for a little bit, and then
Imagine that.
he retired.
Like your fall sport.
Or no, it was the Saints. The Saints.
Forget the NLL. You're just gonna go play football, then come in the summer, play some lacrosse, go back. Like that's like the ultimate, like technically speaking, like nowadays the ultimate two-sport athlete, because like you usually see like football and then baseball, if anything, but haven't really seen someone since Bojack do that and Dion. But like Jordan playing like basketball or baseball, they intertwine too much a little bit, so wouldn't really work out. That's probably like the new thing.
I think we could see it, because there is former Tewaaraton Award winner, which is basically like lacrosse's Heisman, Jared Bernhardt. There's so many Bernhardts that all start with J's. Jared Bernhardt. He won the Tewaaraton, used his grad year to go play D2 at Fair State as a quarterback, won a D2 national title, and then went into the NFL draft, signed as an undrafted free agent with the Falcons, made their 53-man roster, and he still talks about like, yeah, I'm leaving the door open to go play lacrosse again.
Well, like we're gonna see it now. I mean, it's a little different because I feel like, especially when I went to high school, a lot of the guys that played football did play lacrosse, and the same thing happened at all the big like Northeast schools, Delbarton, Darien. They were all kind of the same way. But as of recent, I actually interviewed my my high school's football coach, the current one, and he was saying that a lot of like recruits are now like specializing because I forgot who it was, but there was one kid prior to the NCAA enforcing schools that you can't commit until you're a junior. There was one kid when I was a junior, came in as a freshman to Chaminade and was already committed to Duke lacrosse. After 2 years, the head coach of Duke said, "We don't want you playing football anymore. You have to commit to lacrosse because if you get hurt and you fuck something up, you're done." And he's like, "Well, full ride to Duke, go to community college because I'm a dumbass. What do I do?" And he wound up committing fully to lacrosse. And like you're seeing it now a lot more with a lot of those guys where I feel like specializing is going to be the thing, but the itch to want to play something else, you very well will see.
Nakai Montgomery just did it for Duke. He was playing lacrosse, played football for Duke, got invited to the Cowboys like off-season like practice invites and stuff like that, like draft workouts. And he's from Dallas, so that was cool for him. And then he got drafted by the Redwoods and played all season this year for the Redwoods.
Exactly. It's like it's insane. Although I would love to see somebody. Granted, the schedule like sucks, but like you play golf and then you go play like baseball. That would correlate. Or
That'd be sick.
Like TJ Oshie spends like 3 months after he plays hockey and just goes play golf. Or actually, no, there's one guy in pro tennis, Marty Fish, qualified for I think it was the 3M Open this past season, like professional tennis player who happens to be a plus handicap golfer and managed to actually qualify for an event. Like absolutely. Ladies and gents, welcome into the Get in the Hole podcast. Steve McAvoy, Kyle Bennett here. We already have recapped the weekend, but might as well dig a little deeper. I cut you right off.
Oh yeah, I just had one more like lacrosse golf crossover thing. Shout out to the boy Tahoka Nanticoke, plays for the Buffalo Bandits. Tahoka Nanticoke. He is one of the best. He's the best too. Plays for the Bandits in the NLL. Was part of Chaos this year as well for a little stretch. He was golfing this weekend and did it for the brand. Got a hole in one.
Love that. Did you know? There's a group that I follow, like Long Island golfers. I have still yet to have a hole in one. Now, granted, it's only been like 5 years that I've been like playing like hardcore, but like I need to get it at some point. And I feel like I won't get one until I'm like 70. But that'll probably make
better late than never.
Yeah, but like you want to get it early because it's like the feeling of you get it and you like dead sprint and like leave your bag and everything behind and you find the ball. When you're 70, it's just like, oh, let me go watch my ball. Let me see.
Or you just drive the cart.
Well, yes, of course. Well, I mean, I'm in the cart now, let alone when I'm 70. I'll be in the cart forever.
Does a hole in one in mini golf count? I've gotten a number of those.
Oh, I have plenty of those. You kidding me?
And I got the one like right at the end. It's not like the official hole, but it's like the bonus one. If you get the hole in one, you get the free play ticket.
Most of the ones on Long Island, it's the first hole because it's always the hardest one. And they're like, oh, you get a hole in one, you get a free round of golf. I've hit a few of those.
The one that's at the mini golf course I play on the boardwalk in Ocean City, it's got like nets on the side, and then it's like your typical like starting point, and then it's just like this thin, narrow ramp to go up, and you just have to like lead it perfectly and get enough power behind it that it doesn't go off the ledges. But when I hit that the first time, it was electric because then sounds go off and it's like what is happening. Yep. Like then you just want to like treat everybody to a free round of golf.
The best is the ones where they don't tell you if you hit the hole in one. I've had it a few times. You hear like when the Saints go marching in, you're like, what the fuck is happening right now? But my best mini golf experience when I wind up going to Tiger Woods' Pop Stroke, that'll probably be like one of the best ones. But when I covered the MAC tournament back in college, me and some of the guys, there was a mini golf place like across the street from the boardwalk hall from the arena, and we're like, yo, like you want to play? It's like $5. We're in our suit and ties. It's hot as hell out because it's like late March, but it's just super hot, and we're playing mini golf in our suits. And I was on the content team. We're doing the radio broadcast, so I'm like, you know what, like let's have fun. So we're broadcasting, and we vlogged the entire thing. I'm gonna send you that afterwards.
That's amazing.
It was hilarious because like it's us in suits, and we had the one guy, Will, big soccer fan. He would commentate in a golf voice, like in a golf voice of what like soccer would be.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like McAvoy lining up for the free kick. It's good. It's in jolly good show, mate.
That's amazing.
It was hilarious. So we were like, that was really fun. But yeah, Kyle, a lot of stuff happened in the world of golf this past week. Plenty more live drama, of course. What else is fucking new? Greg Norman is on Capitol Hill. He's hanging out with AOC.
Not the first time.
Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, no, not the first time. No, certainly not the last. Phil Mickelson claims that we should coexist as the PGA Tour and the Live Tour, and Ricky Fowler is finally making some improvements, which we're going to get into in a hot second. But we lead our day. Max Homa defends his title at the 40-net Fortnite Championship, but in only a way that it baffles me. He needed a hole out from the rough, about 15 feet off the green, to take the lead. Danny Willett, about 5 feet from the hole, needed two putts, so he could two putt to win the event. Homa holes out from 15 feet, and will hit 3 putts to lose the event. There's a great video, if I can find it, of Max Homa's wife, girlfriend, whoever she is to him, spouse, significant other, who was like watching and saw Daniel Wolf's 3-putt, and she goes, "Wait, like, did Max win?" And everyone's like, "I don't know, did he?" And Amanda Balionis comes over to her and is like, "Yeah, he did." And they're like, "Whoa, what the hell?" Like no expectation at all for him to win, and somehow pulls it out. So Max Homa gets the big win. I gotta find this video though, because it was like absolutely electric. Maybe
That's amazing. Homa, another guy that I feel like is like total bro.
Well, he's basically the Twitter guy.
Yeah, he's the McAfee of golf.
It's Homa, Damon, and Harry Higgs. It's kind of like the ultimate trifecta of just absolute goons who do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah,
but I pull up this video and we put it on YouTube. Will I get copyrighted by the PGA Tour?
It would let me know when I upload the video.
Well, I really hope we don't, because I'm about to play this video, and we'll see how this goes. Oh no!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Who the hell is that? Oh my god! But yeah, so Max Homa managed to grab the win. As I pull up this video to show you it, I have to give a shout out to our entire team this past week. Me, Ben, and guest Sophia Warren. Also, by the way, the power couple there between Ben and Sophia is just absolutely elite. You don't really see those very often in the golf world, like a hardcore, unique power couple. So shout out to them. But I'm pretty sure all of our predictions from last week have become fact. I have my booklet here, wherever you are, that has every single prediction that we had and whether or not they came true. Ricky Fowler would come back for a top 10 this week. We also bet him for a top 30. That happened. He finished tied for 6th. Austin Eckroat, a top 25. He finished top 25, finished 16th. We predicted to you Sahith Theegala, top 10. That happened. We had, like literally, the names were insane. And, of course, Sophia picking Max Homa to defend her title and totally just shat on me. I said he was going to coast because he was waiting to go for the President's Cup. She was like, no, he's a competitor. He's going to fight. And lo and behold, she was most certainly right. So we had 4 predictions that were completely true. Now, not to say a couple of them were duds, but we did a pretty damn good job. All right, we have our video now. As I pull this up, let me see. Hold on a second. For those of you watching on the video, at some point later on, you will understand that the struggles of media have been really a pain for me lately. And it also doesn't help that my I have like the perpetual slow Wi-Fi issue. That just always happens.
Just got mine fixed. We had that in relation for quite some time now, apparently.
That's nice. God bless you. All right, so can we seize this at all?
I don't see anything.
You don't see anything? Well, this is embarrassing. Why is it that every time I try this, it never works? God almighty, man.
Do you want to email me the video and then?
I don't even want to bother trying. This is killing me. I hate this. Ben's gonna watch this and it's just gonna absolutely obliterate me. Anyways, all right, I'll throw the layout up on social afterwards. But yeah, all of our predictions came true, especially Ricky Fowler finished tied for 6th this week. The first time he's finished in the top 10 in about 8 weeks since last year's Rocket Mortgage Classic. We're finally seeing some progression here. Obviously, he fired his old swing coach about 2 weeks ago, brought on Butch Harmon, and clearly something's working out despite a bit of a rocky relationship between him and Harmon over the last few years. As we had said last week, there was a moment where Butch Harmon was telling Ricky Fowler to stop being a prima donna and a Kardashian and start being a pro golfer. What do you think, though? Ricky Fowler finally is getting those steps in. Do you think this is a fluke, or is there actually more things on the horizon, at least this fall season, while the fields aren't as strong?
I would love to see Ricky Fowler be back. He's one of those guys that, from a casual fan perspective, like I've known about Ricky Fowler since I was, God, like how old is Ricky now? Like 30 something?
Yeah, early on.
Like Ricky's been in my golf brain probably since I was like 10 or 11.
Makes sense.
And I feel like golf is better when he's performing at, his best because he's a visually relatable person. Like a lot of people looked to Ricky when he was younger. He had the long flowing hair. He had the pop of colors. He's wearing the flat build, the flat brim hats. Like that was somebody that younger generation golfers wanted to aspire to kind of be because he brought that swag. He brought that different, pop to, the golf culture world. And not that it's anywhere similar to what Allen Iverson did for the NBA, but like that was kind of like what AI did to the NBA. Like he came in and, he had the tattoos. He wore, his hair in braids. He had the headband, the arm sleeve. He had his own sneakers. Like that was kind of Ricky Fowler in a much lower condensed form where, he popped onto the scene and people were like, yo, I want to be like him. Like
Yeah.
Ricky Fowler kind of like revolutionized that aspect of golf. And like, I thought Ricky Fowler was the coolest fucking dude on the planet. Cause it was like, yo, look at this guy who has long hair like I do, wearing, fitted hats like I do. And he's out there on the golf course, like competing with the best of the best. And I feel like when Ricky Fowler is playing at his best, golf is at its best.
Quick correction also. This is his first top 10 since October 17th, almost a year ago, at the CJ Cup last season, back when Rory won. But yeah, no, you're totally right. I think that Ricky is kind of like what AI was, or he was even like what the Fab Five were back in college ball in the 90s. No one, yeah, you had like guys like Payne Stewart who wore the really like ugly like kilty pants with the high socks. But like for the most part, style in golf has always been pretty like humdrum, very like standard. A lot of guys don't really like show out and flash out. You only really saw that much in the 70s. But yeah, like Ricky Fowler, the long hair, the all out orange Puma outfit.
And
Like
he's young. He was young doing
yeah,
it.
he was a kid. He was 17, 18 years old playing at OK State. He was trying to make a name for himself. And I remember the first event that he ever won back in college. They're like, why do you wear that? And he goes, well, if I can't be good on the golf course, I might as well stand out on the golf course. So at the very least, he already made a name for himself there, and also in an era where he's playing against guys like who at their peak at the time, Rory and Spieth, and at that point was just the beginning of what Dustin Johnson was. And yeah, he kind of peaked out in 2016 when he was the fourth ranked player in the world, and it kind of just started to slowly dip from there. Finally, he has that like small inclination that things are going to get better, and it's only a matter of time too. I mean, there's only so many years that things can go wrong for you, and so many adjustments and small like little like synchronizations that are off, that once you correct them all, you're kind of back on your game. The putter looks really good. You're hitting them pretty straight. I believe his accuracy off the tee was one of the best he's had in a long time. So at the very least, we're seeing progression. Now, is that more Butch Harmon? I don't really know. Or maybe it's just a confidence. Because again,
It might be a mixture of both. Where it's like, it was one of those necessary changes, like an addition by subtraction. You get rid of your swing coach, you bring in a new guy, and it kind of is like, okay, I need to really dial in because, I'm making a massive change for my career here. And this guy has not really seen me at this portion of my career. So now he's going to see what's potentially going wrong with me. And now I got to dial in up here and listen to what he's going to say because he's coming in, from an outside looking in perspective of what is actually going wrong with my game.
Yeah, and like the really important thing to take away, I'm not going to try and blow this out of the water and say, like, oh, Rookie's back, because the harsh reality of it is this is A, the first event of the year, and B, the field strength-wise was on par to what it was last year in terms of there was only 5 top 100 players in the world playing this week. The best player was literally Hideki Matsuyama, then Max Homa, and then him. So that like when you look at top talent, there wasn't a whole lot of it. But if this can be a thing where over the next, let's say 3, 4, 5 weeks, right? He'll play the CJ, he'll go to Japan, play the Zozo, he'll play at Mayakoba. If you can play these events consistently, top 20s in October into November, you take a nice break towards the back end, you go play the Hero World Challenge with Tiger, you go and have fun for a weekend, and the next thing you know, you come in hot. You're not playing that first week at the Century, obviously, because he didn't earn a win, but he can at the very least get things going and figure out, like, you know what, it's tough. It's tough in general to be consistent. And like looking at what he did last year, right? So when he began the year, obviously he played a few events. He played the Shriners Children's Open, the CJ, the Zozo, Mayakoba, and then didn't play again until late January at the Amex. He missed his first 3 cuts, tied for 55th, 42nd, 52nd, 72nd, 76th, and then at that point didn't even make it to the Masters. That was his first 3 months. Couldn't break any higher than 42nd, which is like embarrassing for someone like him. But the last time he's been able to actually put together well top 20s, granted he's never really had to play this October, November swing because he used to always be towards the top half. This was his second year in golf. Had 4 top 20s and came right up the gate, win T3, T5. If he can do that and begin his first few weeks in January, the Amex, the Sony Open, and kind of just push his way through, I think he'll be more than fine. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, some more live action, a lot of news from Greg Norman to Phil Mickelson, and a little bit of leakage, some breaking news in the world of golf. We'll be right back here on Getting the Whole Podcast. Getting the Whole, Steve McAvoy, KB here with you on a magnificent Monday in the world of golf. I mentioned breaking news. We have a lot of it. A federal court document has leaked some news about Liv. Some fun things. Yes, little Dr. Evil action here on this one. By the way, the gold watch really suits the little look.
Thumbnail me.
Beautiful. So, a government document was leaked, including some details, particularly from Taylor Gooch's contract, releasing a
shocker there.
Right? Releasing essentially what we have in terms of the policies that Live Golf runs under. Now, for about 7 months, 8 months, everything about Live has been a mystery outside of the fact that you know what players made. Even then, actually, you don't even really know. At this point, it's all happenstance that Bryson made, I don't know, $150 million. Phil made 200, whatever the numerics are. We don't even actually know them yet. All we knew was the last place player makes $120,000. The first place player makes $4 million. Team event style, and basically what you saw on the production side. Now, this leaked document gives us a look into a few things, including suspensions, anti-doping, certain payments. So just to give you a little idea, we'll get some reaction here. The anti-doping policy. So you are unable to consume alcohol and substances on course, and you must be moderate in your consumption, which is basically being like very lenient. During and after social functions, obviously Live Golf has events pre-tournament, post-tournament, that they have their big parties. Basically saying if you get drunk at an event, like, we will fine you.
I will hunt you down, and I will kill you.
I mean, honestly, Greg Norman and that uber crazy Australian, I will find you and I will kill you. That's a horrible accent, but
it's valid though.
Anyways, kind of. Really interesting. There's no current drug policy on the Live Tour. However, drug policy for banned substances or even recreational drugs. However, they will have a plan by 2023. Some fines. I found this really interesting because the PGA Tour has a tier system for their fines. It's like $10,000 for minor, 10 to 15. Sorry, sub 10,000 for minor, 10 to like 15 for moderate, and then 20,000 for major. Apparently, you can get fined as much as $55,000 by the Live Golf Tour, including suspensions, expulsions. Basically, Greg Norman is not messing around with this league. What will happen is based on any wrongdoing on the course or off the course, including on-course etiquette, gambling, drug use, or being convicted of a crime, stuff of that nature. A player will receive a interim written notice that will include a description of the violation, supporting evidence, and potential sanctions. The player will have 10 days to submit a written explanation and mitigating factors. During the time of an appeal, LIV can temporarily suspend you. Fines range from $1,000 for minor offenses to up to $50,000 for major egregiousness. 2-year expulsions are allowed on tours, including permanent expulsions without reinstatement. The best way that it was described by ESPN media was that it's basically the NFL, but in golf, trying to essentially kind of push the envelope and make sure nothing bad happens. One thing that you and I are going to be like, as media folks, are going to be absolutely livid over. Just like how the PGA Tour owns every single bit of content and information about a player, LIV Golf also owns every single thing a golfer does, specific though to on the course. So at the very least, off the course things they do not have the rights of. However, really interesting point here, and this is actually something that Norman said is going to be a huge differentiator against the PGA Tour. So television, radio, film, internet, statistical data and information, and other associated rights, as well as all other media rights of all players participating in events forming part of the series or any other golf event run in conjunction with or under the auspices of LIV Golf, are in connection with all content that is created, captured, recorded, or otherwise generated during or in conjunction with any event, basically saying that they own everything. But players are eligible to utilize that and profit off their own name, image, and likeness. So while they do own it, if I DM'd Bryson DeChambeau and said, hey, can I have your content, and I paid for it, then he is actually the one who's making the money off it. So at the very least, they're actually able to profit off of it. It isn't like back when I think it was actually Bryson wanted to like release like NFTs of himself on the PGA Tour, and they were like, "Hey, nope, we're taking your profits." Yeah, I know you're disdain for NFTs. Also, something really interesting here. This is really the last major thing that was bought out. Players are allowed to extend their contracts. Currently, the longest one is through 2027. The standard is 2 years through 2024. But they are eligible to extend if, for some reason, they are unable to reach the qualification to become fully exempt for the tour season. They are not eligible to extend unless the league wants to extend them. Otherwise, they'll fall back onto this relegated tour that they're allegedly trying to conjure up. And then finally, really cool payment stuff. If you're injured,
that tour is just called DED, DED.
It's actually DOA. It's dead on arrival.
Instead of live, you're dead.
It's like when the Grateful Dead, their like lead singer died, and now like John Mayer comes in as Dead and Company. Like, yeah, we're kind of dead, but like also we're trying to stay alive as much as we can.
We're living company. That sounds like an offshoot of Raymore and Flanagan.
Everybody Loves Raymond. Good show, by the way.
Yes.
What's better though, that or the King of Queens?
King of Queens.
I low-key feel like now that I live in Queens, I'm kind of my own King of Queens.
I like that for you.
The first day I went to work, I shit you not, I played the opening song on my way to work. And I felt like
that theme song is a banger.
Honestly, the video associated with it is as good.
Oh yeah.
I now live 5 minutes from everything.
That's amazing.
It's actually amazing. I went for a walk the other day by the Globe, by the World's Fair before the Mets game. That was awesome. Payment, final thing here for LIV golfers. If injured, players will receive 50% of the last place finisher's earnings for the week. So even if you don't play, you will earn $60,000. If a player withdraws due to injury, they will receive full last place money, so $120K, but will not earn points towards their ranking. If that happens, players in their team will operate as a 3-man team and not your traditional 4-man. So that those are some of the leaks here from the LIV Golf stuffs. Most of it did come through Taylor Gooch, which is actually really interesting. A lot of his he really got got bent over by all this. Because obviously he tried to play the one event and then go back to the PGA Tour. His contract, because of that, basically Live Golf like owns him, and like every single thing he does is like now owned through Live, which is like kind of funny, but also like a big fu because he tried to hedge around the rules. Also, some other breaking news in the world of golf. We have double breaking news.
Yep.
Thank you. Someone get ESPN on the phone. Phil Mickelson is considering removing his name from the antitrust lawsuit between 12 players and the PGA Tour. What do we think?
My true honest opinion is Phil just wants to keep having his name in the news.
I agree.
It feels like nobody's been talking about him for a little bit, so let's stir up some controversy, and I'm gonna fall back on what I was initially going to do, so people continue to talk about me and keep me relevant.
Well, it's interesting too because the reason why he did this was because of something that we'll talk about right now. He said that Live and the PGA Tour should come together, like the Beatles song.
Right now,
over me.
He
come on, that time he come grooving up slow. What is that song even about?
Coming together.
Dude, that song makes zero sense.
Do you think, at the top of the show, Phil said you think they should coexist. Do you think Phil has the coexist bumper sticker on his car now?
Oh, God. On like his Bentley?
On his Tesla?
Is it right next to the this car climbed Mount Washington bumper sticker?
With the family sticker?
Oh, I hate those.
I hate them.
My girlfriend like every time she sees one will always go, we're never gonna have that because it's basically telling predators that we have 3 kids. I'm like, all right, you're thinking too far into this.
I mean, valid, but
I mean yes, but like you're thinking way too far into this. Like it isn't that deep, honey. Like please.
True.
Also, can I say she's currently in Disney and like didn't bring me?
Wow.
I don't know, I've been home alone for like a week. All right. This is another sidebar here. And I kind of feel like Phil because no one likes Phil anymore. I've been going to dinner alone, and there's no more depressing feeling than going to dinner by yourself.
Yes and no. I feel like depending on the circumstance, like it can be kind of like enjoyable.
I mean, like Phil's probably used to it at this point.
Very true.
Doesn't really have friends. He probably tries to like text Tiger like, "Hey, let's go out," and he's like, left on red.
Hey, man. It just goes, instead of a blue bubble text message, it goes to green.
You've actually been blocked by this number. Sorry to tell you. But yeah, so Phil thinks we should coexist. I think what he's trying to do now, he said in the same interview that he has no like remorse and that he's quote unquote here to stay and live. But I feel like he's having this like kind of like guilt almost. That like, yeah, he like started this whole thing, but also he wants to like do right by the PGA Tour in case they want to like give him any sort of like love, which is why I think now he's pulling out of this suit. He's saying stuff like this. At some point, he's gonna be like, oh, like I love Jay Monahan, and they're gonna like do like a Kim Jong Un meets Dennis Rodman kind of thing, and like try and like work it out. Like it's stuff like this that I find like. Phil's trying to get ahead of the game, but really he's already his grave is dug deeper than the deepest holes in Camp Green Lake. That's a great reference, by the way. That's a great reference.
That's a phenomenal reference, first of all.
Shout out Shia LaBeouf and the greatest game ever played. Hashtag Fred Smet. Oh my God.
Camp Green Lake.
I just put a holes reference into the show. Speaking of holes, Greg Norman's digging one. Well, segues.
What a word to use there. If you're not watching on the YouTube, you should. The segment caption says Greg Norman treks to Capitol Hill. What a fantastic verb to use for Greg Norman, because he certainly would be the type that would make a trek to Capitol Hill.
Hold on, I gotta edit this, and I hope this doesn't mean that like I'm gonna get like government scrutiny. He's more like trekking the Capitol hole. So Greg Norman is in Washington, D.C., hanging out with AOC with the goal of trying to show lawmakers that Live Golf is different to the PGA Tour, that the PGA Tour is trying to monopolize and bump them out. And he said, and I quote, hold on. He said, Live Golf is coming to the Hill this week to meet with lawmakers from both parties. Given the PGA Tour's attempt to stifle our progress in reimagining the game, we think it's imperative to educate members of Live's business model and counter the Tour's anti-competitive efforts. Players have the rights and the freedoms to play where they like. I know for a fact that many PGA players were and still are interested in playing for Live Golf, in addition to playing for their tour. What is wrong with that? He then followed up with reporters saying, we have no interest sitting down with them, in reference to the PGA Tour, to be honest with you, because our product is working. What do we think of Greg Norman's attempts here? I feel like something a little fishy is happening up on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, it's a little sus, if you will.
It's a little sketch, right?
Greg Norman meeting with AOC sounds like a Mad Lib. I need a noun. Greg Norman, another noun. AOC.
Give me
another
verb.
Noun. Place. Capitol Hill.
Give me a verb.
Meet.
No, it's got to be a lot more like egregious and like gross.
Oh, Trex.
No. Well, they aren't trekking together on Capitol.
Greg Norman treks to Capitol Hill to meet AOC.
I'm gonna get the video of Bill from Schoolhouse Rock, and it's gonna be just Greg Norman's face on it. I'm just a Bill, and I'm hanging here on Capitol Hill.
You are on fire tonight, my friend.
You know, I spent so much time alone this past week that like I'm like conjuring up shit in my head, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just see how this goes. I am literally in a dark room. Like I'm like. It is dark except for my fucking ring light, and I'm just talking to you. I haven't spoken a word anyway. I've watched 5 episodes of Game of Thrones while working from this desk all day, and I'm 4 cups of coffee deep.
If only Phil Mickelson was the one on Capitol Hill, we could change it to "My name is Phil on Capitol Hill."
Oh my god, I can't right now. Oh.
Yeah, some seems wrong with that, and like saying we're not gonna meet with that. It's like, how do you want like this shit to work?
Well, at this point, he doesn't even want to like be involved with the PGA Tour at all because they like Jay Monahan has he's made it abundantly clear that he wants nothing to do with Greg Norman. So, understandably so, if he doesn't want anything to do with him, why should Greg Norman do any different? I totally understand what he's trying to do here, and I think it's kind of like. I guess you could say it's him sort of like telling like Congress, like, oh yeah, like what they're doing is wrong. Let's like try and push the envelope a little bit on this case. Because right now, they are investigating this.
Yeah.
Like there is the probe, but how much of it's really like going down, and the PGA Tour is a multi-billion, trillion-dollar industry.
Right.
You don't know with like lobbyists and how people are getting paid off left and right, and how I'm not like trying to get political here, but like the odds of like people actually trying to get involved in this, I feel like it's like anything else in politics. It's going to go into a filibuster and it's never going to actually get resolved, which I feel like is probably going to be the end result here because they're such a huge industry. It's like when the MLB back in the 60s went to court for like free agency. They wanted to throw it out like 4 times. And then once the Civil Rights Act got involved, people started to actually like listen.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what's going to be the cataclysmic event that's going to cause this to actually go down? And like, what if we do find that the PGA Tour is a monopoly, and then we're going to squash it, and now Live's the only tour in town?
Yeah, because then that essentially makes Live the monopoly. Like
exactly. So like, what are we going to do here?
It's a lose-lose. Honestly, and I think Greg Norman is simply just going to Capitol Hill to go try to find Donald's Coke button. He just wants the Coke button. He wants all the Diet Cokes.
Guys, it's hidden under Jefferson Memorial. We all know this. No one goes to it anyways.
We'll find it in the new National Treasure television series on Disney Plus. I loved Walt.
I'm not looking forward to that.
I think it's gonna be all right.
No, there has to be Nicolas Cage.
I think he's like part of the production like
I don't
side
care.
of things.
I have to see his face.
I could send you multiple pictures of Nicholas. He played all my golf courses, even as Johnny Blaze.
They gotta make a remake of that movie too.
It's coming. Don't worry.
With him?
More than likely as a variant, I would assume. But there's gonna be a new like MCU Johnny Blaze.
What is this? I love the notifications that I get from ESPN Fantasy. Leonard Fournette apologizes to fantasy managers on social media for slow starts of the season.
I saw that.
Did you see what happened to Amon-Ra St. Brown?
No, I did not.
Some guy tweeted at him like weeks ago, and he was like, "Oh, congratulations! You have been added to my fantasy football team."
I did see that.
If you fumble, you run a mile. I will kick you in your John Brown hind parts, and then you will run a mile.
It is very funny that Amon-Ra St. Brown and his brother Equinemius St. Brown, their dad's name is John.
John, yeah. Also, not to mention, speaking of that, like that comment, he tweeted yesterday after his 38-point bloop. He said, "Hope I don't get a foot in my John Brown hind." We'll be right back, folks. Get in the hole. We're going to come back at you with some President's Cup. Will the USA sweep? Probably. We'll find out. Welcome back, folks. Get in the hole. Steve McAvoy, K Bizzle in the house. Stepping in for Ben Piero. He's currently out on a date night with the girlfriend. They went to the Rays game, Rays Astros, which actually just had first pitch. Wonder who's pitching tonight. I have no idea. I don't even really care. Let's go Rays. I have a bet out right now that the Yankees don't win the division, so we'll see how that one goes.
Oof.
It's time for our super ultra mega President's Cup breakdown.
Bum, bum, bum.
Thank you. And we start off with my stats. We used to have Ben's book. Now it's Steve-O's stats. The Quail Hollow Club this week in North Carolina plays host to the President's Cup. And the USA is looking to dominate once again. They have won, I believe, 5 straight President's Cups. Don't quote me on that, but I'm almost positive. This is an event that historically the international team never plays well, ever. They always lose. And it's kind of embarrassing and very sad. But at the same time, the powerhouse that is American golf is just like over the top good. Let me pull up my stats here on Quail Hollow.
Wow, it's the Joe Byron Cup.
Honestly, if it was the actually what it should probably be, although it's the international team and not the Ryder Cup, it should be the Queen Elizabeth Cup. But
fantastic clip too. If you guys have not crossed over getting the whole Top Bins audiences yet on the YouTube, on the podcast feeds, my brother-in-law, trusted co-host of Underground Sports Philadelphia, and also the co-host of Top Bins, Matt Castorino, with a phenomenal final send-off for Queen Lizzie out there.
I'm probably going to top him. The U.S. So here's some fun facts. So for those of you who live under a rock, the President's Cup will be a full match play event. First day and second day will be matches between 2 players on each side, 4 matches apiece. And then the final day, third day, 12 individual matches. We do not know who's playing in what pairings yet. We said last week, probably we'll see Spieth and JT together. You might see Colin and Finau together, Max Homa and Sam Burns. There's a lot of different fun combos here. Kevin Kisner will also be in the mix. Here are some fun facts. The USA is 11-1-1 all time in the President's Cup. The international team has never won on the road. So the second the boys step foot in America, they lose. The Quail Hollow Club playing around 7,300 yards this week. Very challenging golf course. Actually, one of the yearly hardest courses on tour for a non-major or particularly like heavy event. Usually plays host to the Wells Fargo Championship. traditionally, when you look at the big events every single year, it's the Genesis, it's the Waste Management, it's the Memorial, Bay Hill. This one doesn't always strike you as one of the top ones, but the golf club is absolutely historic. Robert Trent Jones design, one of the best courses probably ever. But yeah, should be a absolutely wild week here. A few stats here to keep note of. There have been a lot of American players who come here and absolutely dominate. Particularly Davis Love. Davis Love, obviously the captain of the American team, 21-time winner on the PGA Tour. He's twice captained a Ryder Cup team. He lost in 2012 and he won in 2016. He is back to try and win this one for the boys back home. Was actually born in Charlotte, North Carolina. He has some hometown ties. And this is actually his home golf course when he played back in college and early on as an assistant. And also when Zach Johnson, friend of Ben Pirro and
future guest of Getting the Whole Podcast.
Hopeful future guest. When he endorses someone like Davis Love, we most certainly look at it as a big time accomplishment. The thing here that I found out that was really interesting. There are 7 players on the American side who have all finished top 5 or better at Quail Hollow at some point in their career. Only one player on the international side has ever finished in the top 10, and that was Hideki Matsuyama in 2017. So this is a really interesting golf course, the way it's kind of playing out. As I'm pulling out my advanced stats for you all. The golf course is going to play very long this week. It's going to be a pretty challenging golf course overall. I have a friend who actually is one of the assistant pros there. He told me straight up, this is going to be one of the hardest challenges you'll ever see in a Ryder Cup / President's Cup match ever. Some keys to winning here at Quail Hollow this week. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it simple because I'm kind of ranting here to you, Mr. Bennett. Par 71, 7,500 yards, Bermuda grass greens, tree-lined Parkland-style golf course. It'll play very long. They call it the Green Mile for a reason. There's a 3-hole stretch that makes up about 6. It's holes 16 through 18, 2 mammoth par 4s and a 221-yard par 3. All 3 holes of his average scoring over par, and water's in play on each of the last 5 holes of the golf course. Keys to win here. Strokes gained approach. The thing is with match play, it's really interesting that approach players always dominate the field. And the American side very clearly has they have the 5 best approach players in the field this week between Finau, Morikawa, JT, Homa, and Scheffler. So just absolute dominance here. Strokes gained off the tee. The Americans ride this. 4 of the top 5 players in the field. The only international player that currently matches up to the field is Hideki Matsuyama. Proximity to the hole from 200 plus yards out. What else? All top 5 players are all Americans. Strokes gained putting on Bermuda grass. Sam Burns, they call him Bermuda Burns for a reason. Billy Horschel, he's Bermuda Billy. This is going to be a American-dominated field the entire week. And also par 4s from 450 to 500 yards. Once again, everyone except for Sungjae Im falls on the American side as some of the top players in the field this week. The model is simple. Hit it long, hit it accurate, avoid the rough. That's basically the only thing you could say this entire week. And by the looks of it, the Americans should absolutely just dominate. Like, it's not even going to be – it literally won't even be close. I said it last week, and Ben crapped on me for this one. I think that the international team might not score a single point, and I'm going to stick to that statement. But to do that, we got to talk props. Prop that time, brought to you by the boys over at Pickup. Pickup, play the headlines. Sign up with your phone number. Get betting today. Get things going off here. Prop number 1, who will have the most singles victories between either the USA or the international team?
Team USA.
Team USA. It's these prop bets. I feel kind of bad for the international team because it's just like it's tough. Prop 2, over or under 7.5 halved matches. Last year there was 8 halved matches. But that was also including a team that had Cameron Smith, Mark Leishman, Joaquin Neiman, and now they're all gone. Oh, and Louis Oosthuizen, by the way. And now they're all gone. What do we think? Over or under 7.5 halved matches between across all 3 days.
Life's too short. I'm gonna take the over.
I am most certainly going to hammer the under. I think there's going to be 3 the entire week. Over under 9.5 point deficit final. The largest deficit in President's Cup history was 8 points. The Americans won 19-11 4 years ago. Over or under 9.5 of the 21 total points available.
It's very rare that I say this, and I feel like I might end up like the guy who says this a lot. But it's been very unsuccessful when I've tailed and ridden along with one Stephen McAvoy on things. But Steve, let's ride. I'm going to go over.
I'm taking the over to the house. If there isn't a 10-point deficit, I'll be shocked. I'm sorry. Like I really feel bad for this international team, and I really hope they prove me wrong. But you can't tell me your third best player is Tom Kim, and try and compete against JT. Like it can't be. Like yeah, Adam Scott's good. Sanjay M is good. Hideki Matsuyama is good. But even if you have Hideki and Adam Scott, or Hideki and Sanjay M, right? If they go against Scotty, Scheffler, and JT, you're done. You're toast. Or even JT and Spieth. Or even Morikawa and Finau. It's like the combos are just too good. And
it's like a 4-button combo when you're playing video games. It's like when you perfect a Mortal Kombat victory, it's just going to be an absolute bloodbath. Finish him.
Yeah, it's going to be just absolute killers. Prop 4, who, blank player, will be responsible for earning the most points. So they'll be playing in matches, both single and with a teammate, but this person will be responsible for having the most points.
Let me hear who you go with.
So my guy, I successfully predicted last year the Ryder Cup. I said this guy would have the most points. He also played in the most matches, which makes sense. Now, granted, this prop's a little iffy because you don't know who's going to be playing where. But Colin Morikawa plays well with anybody, and he always shines the best in these match play events. I think Colin is going to be responsible for the most. However, the big thing is, last year at the Ryder Cup, he played with DJ. Obviously, DJ will not be here. So whoever he'll have will have to work around a little bit, have some good chemistry. But if you want a couple of other guys to bet props on, it's between Cantlay and Schauffele for me as well. They're most certainly going to be a duo playing back-to-back days, and they'll have their individual matches. They'll also be involved. I was
leaning Colin because he's one of my favorite guys right now as well.
And he's sick.
He just seems like a cool dude. Like he's another bro. Like
he is.
Big Colin guy.
Ultimate bro.
And I was also leaning JT.
All right. There you go. I think JT will certainly have a shot. He'll be one of the higher profile guys this week. You very well know who's going to be playing back-to-back days. It'll probably be Scheffler, Schauffele, Cantlay. I feel like
Barclay.
Spieth should probably. Charles Barkley.
Saquon Barkley.
He's been so good. Prop number 5, will either side sweep an entire day? So here's the thing. If it happens on the third day, a perfect 12-0 for the American side would be obscene. But the first 2 days, there's only 4 matches. So to sweep a day, I think is possible. I think someone will. I think the USA will sweep one day.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll take that.
There you go. Look at that. We're going to push over from the prop bets. We're going to give you the actual bets. Beer money. Brought to you by our friends, Kenwood Beer. Where's the hat, KB? There you go. Swap it out. Shout out to the boys at Kenwood Beer, Philadelphia's #1 light beer. Grab your Kenny's. Let's go. Only one bet because the sports books don't want to give you anything else because they already know what the result's going to be. Pick your winner, KB. The USA -700. The international side +750 or +2,000 for a draw. At this point, just put your 401k on the -700 and hope it rides out.
Good grief.
They know the sports books know it's a route. They don't put any prop bets on either. They don't care.
That's
They're like
yucky.
they're literally saying it's a throw out week. They had more odds on last week's Italian Open.
Ugh. I'm gonna put $1 on the draw.
Honestly, yeah, like beer,
Like why not?
some beer and pizza money. Just
Like $1 to win 20.
you know what would be an amazing parlay? Just for the sake of Kenwood beer. You know what? Let's do it. You and me. Let's bet $1 draw comboed with Kenny Gainwell anytime touchdown next week. That would be. I have to look now and see what the actual numbers would be if it's plausible.
I don't hate that.
Kenwood Beer would have to give us the lifetime supply of beer.
I don't hate that.
I'm actually very curious now. So a draw plus NFL winning week 3 Eagles versus Commanders. Oh,
Awesome.
you can't play it yet, but
Well, the Eagles play tonight, so you could kind of get an idea.
all right, yes, hold on. Well,
That's why you can't play it yet, because they play tonight.
the bet hasn't been called yet. Anytime touchdown scorer. Kenny Gainwell is he even listed?
He should be. He scored last week.
Plus 300.
I like that.
$1, it's plus 8,300. So it's bet 1 to win $83.
Wow.
Bet 10 to win $830. That's a lot, though.
Yeah, it is a lot.
But hey, man, look, Kenny Gainwell thrives.
I'm doing it right now.
He thrives in the goal to go situations.
I'm doing it right now. I'm looking for golf right now.
Literally, just go to the PGA Tour and it'll be the first thing there because it's like President's Cup, majors, all tournaments, and it'll just be like the futures bets.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I think
$1.
Yeah, it's a no brainer for the USA.
There it is.
I'll take that. Are you playing it?
Yep, done.
So you're playing it for tonight, right?
For tonight, yeah.
Oh my god,
Let's go.
Send me your slip. We're gonna send it to Kenwood right now,
Okay.
and we're gonna be like, yo, if this happens, what are we getting here? Lifetime supply of beer, maybe? Who knows? Probably.
So should we now be rooting for the draw?
I guess for the hell of it.
Hey, we just hope both teams have fun and do their thing.
They say in the world of sports, if you had fun, you won.
I like that.
In this case, we're gonna be sweating our asses off. Oh god, I can't wait. KB, any final thoughts here before we get rolling?
Final thoughts. Just everybody subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Get us to 1K. We're at 240 right now. We got some big things popping off this week on the pod. We got world champion head coach of the Water Dogs Lacrosse Club, Andy Copeland, coming on Outside the Box this week. Got a big show with Underground Sports Philadelphia. Obviously, Top Bins is always popping with Matt and Dom. Obviously, you're getting me on Getting the Hole. Come on now. Streamer season's going to be electric. I can't wait to sit down on Tuesday night and catch up on House of the Dragon, and then She-Hulk on Thursday. She-Hulk last week was bonkos, so big shit popping. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You and Ben are still conjuring up your half of the gauntlet challenge.
Yeah,
we're conjuring up a whole bunch of stuff as well. We're going to get Andy Copeland in on the fun with the OTB leg of things to see what he thinks, and subscribe to the Getting the Whole podcast feed as well, because the boys are buzzing. Get them back on the charts where they belong. I also have one other final thought here for you. Yeah, great news. While I was at the PLL Championship this week, caught up with good friend Barstool Jordy, and he said, he's seen Getting the Hole and he's checked it out. He's listening to Getting the Hole. So Barstool Jordy is a big fan of the boys.
Hey, how you doing? You want to, if me and Ben go head to head with Riggs, I think we could win.
I would love to see it.
It'd be like Riggs and like Trent would work out pretty good. Me and Trent share a body type, kind of, sort of.
That's true.
Also classes, which helps.
Yes.
The small features just kind of like make them work. My final thought, I want to give a shout out, like once again, I started the show with her. I'm going to end the show with her. Sophia successfully picked Max Homa to win this past week. We're already starting off 1-0 in beer money, which is like amazing. So shout out to Sophia for coming in. Me and Ben both called top 10. We were like, you know what, play it safe on that pick. She came in hot. She was like, he's taking it. He's going. We're 1-0.
She was electric last week on the episode.
She was great. She really has like a good voice for podcasts too.
Mm-hmm.
We should like make a call her daddy, but like Sophia version, like something crazy. I don't know. We need more girls in media. Come on.
Agreed. Big
Get her
time.
a damn job.
Especially golf.
Fats. Get her a job. If you're watching this, do it. That's a rock star. That's going to do it all for us here on Getting the Hole. Steve McAvoy. Kyle Bennett came in this week. He absolutely crushed it. Once again, another awesome week with Kyle. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, a draw and a little Kenny Gainwell action tonight versus the Vikings. I'll be rooting for Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson in my league this week. I'm down 60 points. We need a big week. We'll see what happens. Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, the official golf podcast of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Catch us every week wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and be sure to like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at GetInTheHolePod, and follow Underground Sports Philadelphia at UndergroundPHI. We'll see you next time. And remember, get in the hole!